Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the October 21st, 2024 school board meeting. We did open up the meeting at 5:30 and had some non-public business to take care of. And we're back in public session, and I would ask that you please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there any public participation at this time? I have one. Saturday evening here at the high school was the Farmington Sports Hall of Fame banquet, and I would just like to, on behalf of the 500 Club, thank Larry Gordon and his staff. Especially, I'd like to shout out John Titus, who came up on Saturday to help us out with some decorative type pieces that we needed to go up before we had the banquet. And just to the Farmington School District for the use of the facility. It's always a beautiful venue to honor athletes and contributors from the past. I'd especially like to congratulate all of the inductees, but I'd like to solo out, if I may, Tasha Doyle, who's a current teacher and coach here at Farmington High School for her induction. Kevin Mosier, current building administrator and athletic director here in the school district. And a special thanks to a gentleman named Pete Ciccolini, who was issued the Ellison Award for long-time fundraising for Farmington. One of those programs that he fundraised for was the football program when it was in his infancy. Probably wouldn't have started here at Farmington High School if it wasn't for his fundraising efforts. So congratulations to them all, but to those three individuals, they touched Farmington High School in other ways. So thank you to them. And that is it. Going,
Is this,
I'm sorry?
were we supposed to put that? That's on our agenda.
We are not having a public hearing because we need to repost it and post it in a newspaper,
Oh, okay.
and
I
that did
just
not
didn't wanna-
happen, so we're going to
Okay.
schedule that for November 4th.
All right, didn't want it to get missed.
Yeah. Minutes.
We'll make a motion to approve the minutes of August 26th, 2024, public session and non-public 1 and 2.
Motion by Mrs. Lozay, second by Mrs. Johnston. Discussion on the minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Reports, Farmington High School. we-
Farmington High School's report is in your board folder for your review. Mr. Toro is away on business this evening.
Okay. Henry Wilson.
I'm not sure where you're going. Still here? It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Or at the end of the thing, wherever you want.
Well, if you feel like sitting.
Yeah, if you want to say it.
This is good.
Change it up a little.
You don't want to be up close and personal to us?
Could sit right here beside me.
I'm just kidding, Giselle.
She's fallen to peer pressure.
She's like, all right, fine.
If you can't really stand up, though, they might take off one. Okay, good to know. So, we have the same data, that's typically in there. I don't have the attendance data. There's so many people absent in the office as well that I can update that for next month. But I do have for previous years. We're sitting at about 89% attendance. Lots and lots of, I think that's the first time you ever wanted me to be heard. Aw, thanks. Lots and lots of sicknesses everywhere. So, I wanted to go with a thank you. I couldn't get over the amount of stuff that Farmington House Pizza collected, and then for Jess for bringing it to us. So there are so many school supplies, and we are really grateful for everybody in Farmington for donating, and then Farmington House of Pizza for organizing it, and Jess Parker for bringing it to us. So that was really awesome.
Can I just jump in and say Mrs. Parker is absent tonight and she is excused? I should have said that at the beginning. Sorry.
Okay. And if you don't know, her son is in The Wizard of Oz in Rochester, and you should go see it. The whole entire office has tickets for this Friday. Anyways. And then the other person I wanted to say thank you to was Gabe Terrance. He donated a piano to Henry Wilson. He wasn't using it anymore, and Ms. Coolish had reached out. He delivered it. It is in the band room, and if you haven't been in the music room as of late, there are so many wonderful instruments in there. And Stephanie Ham and Mackenzie worked really, really hard because we had money in a grant that had to be spent. Well, I thought it had to be spent by September 30th, but it had to be in-house by September 30th. And so they worked so hard to make sure, I mean, what do we leave in that grant line? Not a lot.
Not a lot, no, they spent the rest of it down.
Yeah.
Do we
Yes,
need to
please.
accept that gift based on value?
It was less than 500,
Okay.
so is that okay?
Yeah,
So, but if you'd like to accept it,
no,
thank
that's
him.
fine, no. It's fine.
It's just really, really nice of him.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's gonna help a lot of kids. We really appreciate it. Drama is back, and not the typical middle school drama. We, we are having a play. It's a one-act play, and it's called Rainbows versus Bunnies Annihilation. It's super cute, and we're looking for a February production. Tryouts are this Wednesday. Then the other super cool thing that happened was the sixth grade trip to the Mount Washington Observatory. That was last Thursday. I was out sick, but it was really cool because they texted me when they were getting close to the top. And then you can see the picture all the way on the right. I took that from home because of the webcam. So it was really cute to see them and then, you know, be texting, tell so-and-so to put their jacket on. They had a great time. Miss Seward does such a good job with weather anyways, but to add this component and to go on the cog and do all these things, the kids are just buzzing about it, so. We did do our first school-wide writing sample on Friday. I just can't say enough about the kids and how serious they take it. And the best use of scrap paper, and they know we're gonna read it, and they know we're gonna use it for the early release this Wednesday. And it really drives instruction. So the first one was narrative, and, you know, to see the difference between the approaching and then the on or above, small tweaks, and then when we show it to them, you should see them fly, because it's like little things like, it mentioned, oh, describe the setting, and that's easy to just kind of overlook, because you're so excited about writing your story. So I know that when we meet with those kiddos and we're like, hey, you know, let's read this again, let's take a look, they just did such a good job, and you know, they got out their little scrap paper and they made their little plot mountain diagram, and from all grade levels. It just was really good. And then for the high school, they were doing STAR, and Mr. Caro had called me and said, hey, you know, I'm not really sure, can you kind of give me a hand? And I said, yeah, and I said, let them know that they have to use their scrap paper the same way they did at Henry Wilson, because this was for ninth graders, and that Miss Brunel and Miss Jones will pick best use of scrap paper. You should have seen the kids, like, because we have a rubric for our scrap paper, and, you know, it's like, you know, talking yourself through it and maybe giving yourself some little positive affirmations and stuff, but then one of the kids was like, hi, Miss Burnell, I miss you. But they used the scrap paper. It was amazing. They know what they're doing. So, well, that's that. I just really like our kids. And good kiddos.
That's it.
That's it.
I see the current challenges. What's going on with phones?
We'll just continue to have phone outages. You'll just show up and like, it's frustrating. And I will put it in the group chat, and it's like, phones are out again at Henry Wilson, you know, which means that parents can't call in. And then it's just, it looks really unprofessional, and it always makes me scared from a safety standpoint as kids are starting to come in. We do have cell phones, but that is the only way we have of doing an all call is through the phone system.
Who fixes that? Who comes in? What?
Dale Greenwood, TSE. So in chasing down that last episode, first of all, our phone service is voice over IP, so we're internet dependent. There was a service interruption sometime Saturday afternoon in the community, and it's not necessarily an interruption that you would see at home. Sometimes it's just a matter of a quick hiccup, but that quick hiccup can cause phone service disruption, and it did. So when staff came in Monday morning to no phones, we put the word out, and we were able this is one of the benefits of having an in-house IT, because they were able to chase down and correct the issue within a matter of minutes from the time that I said, let's get on it. I do have a meeting upcoming with Dale, and amongst other things, it's to take a look at the history of phone interruptions and see what can be done.
And we only see it at the one building?
Valley View.
No,
is it shared?
no, there were, I believe it was all three this time.
So one building can be down and the other two are fine, or,
The-
It runs through the modem.
okay.
So, all they have to do is restart the modem.
Okay.
So I
I'll
need
keep you
to-
posted on it. I
need
do
to
have
learn where that
a call out
is.
for a meeting.
What to unplug and
It's
plug
probably in the old FLA building.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I was teaching, it was next to my desk, so I
Oh.
was the one that we had to do it anytime it happened, so I know how to do it. It's
Hmm.
basically, just like you do at home, you unplug the modem, stick it back in, and everything comes back.
we can try
Interesting.
that. And then I know we have new cameras coming, it's just, it seems like whichever one we need happens to be the one offline on that day. It's delightful.
All right. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Valley View.
Hello.
Oh.
So you can see for the October report, we've been very busy, and I was just saying that I'm really good at planning all these fun things, and I enjoy planning all these fun things, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? We have way too much. No wonder the teachers are overwhelmed. But yes. But no, we've been doing a lot of fun things lately and doing a lot of great things that I'm really proud of. Just want to thank Farmington House of Pizza and Jess Parker, very generous with their donations of supplies. So really appreciate all of those things, very heartfelt. So we finished beginning of year testing. We went over some data analysis in PLCs where Cam McGlinchey came up, which just really looked to keep reiterating the differentiation between the STAR test, which is testing state standards, and the DIBELS, which is a very different test, which getting teachers to understand that is testing reading acquisition skills. Once those have been mastered, they then can apply those same skills to be proficient on STAR, math, science, all of those things. So really DIBELS has to be the driver of, are we targeting those reading skills? And using both and kind of coalescing all of the data together really should get a comprehensive, more accurate picture. As I've noted before, STAR's accuracy may be my skepticism sometimes with STAR of sorts. Just because we want it to be a true reflection of all of our hard work and efforts, of course, we all do. But looking at that in the data that I have attached, we also recently analyzed like the longitudinal data, the 3-year trajectory, and it looks like we're doing really well, have been making growth, solid growth the past 3 years. So very proud of teachers digging in, the buy-in with science of reading, the buy-in with structured literacy, and the fact that, by 2027, every school in the nation, actually this is New Hampshire law, but every school in the nation by 2027 will be switched over, has to be to structured literacy and all those components. So we are way ahead of the game. So we even have had schools reflect on what are those inner processes that we're doing in literacy, because we implemented it a couple, 3 years ago. So we're in good shape, and then, time takes time. The more that we retain staff who are getting better every year, as we all do, hone our crafts, I think we're gonna see some really amazing things. Other than.
Sorry, do
Yeah.
the teachers complete their DIBELS, or does reading staff, or like, who completes the DIBELS?
The testing piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the
Or
first year
mixed.
I tested like 3 years ago, all the kids.
Yep.
Last year it was Title I teachers
Yep.
learned the training
Yep.
and then Title I tested. And this year it was teachers took the training last spring and with the goal that teachers will test their own students, because there's value in that, because they know their kids better than anyone. They're the game changer in the classroom to really target instruction, so there's absolute value that teachers are the ones to see those strengths and weaknesses, and it's challenging. It's definitely challenging with lack of subs, and sometimes for the teacher to be able to test their kids, we need sub coverage so they can have that, time. But we're figuring out, we're gonna do that next month and have teachers again have time to, practice testing and iron out any things for the middle of the year. So again, it's
Awesome.
all gonna become more
Yeah.
smooth, but
Yeah.
bumpy at first. The first
No,
Power
good
School,
Progress, that's good.
yeah,
That's-
hopefully, it's gonna be good stuff. Power School, this was the first year that we have online grading for elementary. It was a little bit of a learning curve because, there was a lot of boxes to check off and not like really formal training for teachers. So I pushed it back a week. I didn't hear from any parents that that was an issue, just very honest with, this is a new procedure for us. So especially some of the new teachers, needed additional type training to post grades, plus attaching them to standards. So there's a few layers, if you will, but they were released last Friday. Haven't heard anything, so, moving forward, again, hopefully that should be smoother each time. The local fire department, visited, and the kids were so happy to see them. Took time, gave the kids time to ask some questions about, career. And, gosh, it seems so long ago, but I think last week we had our family literacy night. We had over 130 family members, I was shocked, attend, and that looked like there was stations set up around our cafeteria of different reading activities and hands-on space-themed things. In tandem with Mrs. St. Hilaire, the art teacher who did space-themed art, which will go on sale for Art to Remember, so that was also stationed. And we had food, PTA sign-up in the local library, so all good stuff. Great to interact with the families that did show up. That was awesome. We will plan to have a math STEAM night in the spring, very similar to the dynamics of what that reading night looked like.
It was a nice environment, very electric.
Electric?
Yes, from where I was standing.
Oh, electric.
Yeah, electric, yes.
Electric.
Friday, we have a local author that I think I connected with over the summer and then kind of passed it on to librarian. She was able to book, so all the classes are going to visit with Megan Moneypenny. Say that 5 times
Megan
fast.
Moneypenny, wow.
Megan Moneypenny. So,
It sounds like a famous name.
It sounds like it's from James Bond.
Children's author. Children's author.
she's
Yeah.
from Sugar Land, Texas, and she has like a mental health counseling background. So she's written kind of an appropriate elementary developmentally appropriate book that the kids can interact with the author. This was free, by the way, so thank you. We love that. So she will be here this Friday. Early release, we, to kind of work on our math student achievement this year, the teachers will be meeting with in-person math coaches for HMH. Kathleen, the former curriculum coordinator, we worked with that last year to look at all supplemental professional development to help teachers kind of implement this program. So they will be meeting with the math coach each grade level Wednesday. Starting next week, we also have Red Ribbon Week. Our new counselor, Ms. Walsh, was very eager, created a schedule to get parents and students involved, and there's always it's unbelievable how much participation our students and families participate in any of those school spirit things. So they received that calendar, and that is next week. Coupled with next week already is trunk or treat. All are invited. We just kind of have trunk or treat of staff around the horseshoe, block off cars, and then all the kids. We had quite a big turnout last year, so we are asking for any candy donations, please and thank you, that you can drop right off at the office. Anything helps. Dollar bills for me, those can go right in my mailbox.
Scratch tickets? That's what I used to give the teachers. Remember that?
Yeah.
For
Yes.
Christmas and teacher appreciation.
still love
scratch tickets.
We still
If you
love
win
them.
big, please share with me.
It's an investment.
So yeah, we've been really busy October doing a lot of fun things, and next month is going to be just as busy. We have the first PTA meeting, which is also going to be Zoom online option for Valley View parents, so I think that's going to uptick in a lot of participation, hopefully. And we had a huge parent sign up. Now, we'll see actually how many stay with us, and we need that continued reciprocity, that we can support the PTA with school events and they can help support us. Student conferences, parent-teacher conferences will be November 5th. So students do not have school that Tuesday. Teachers will be sending a sign-up list. Wednesday, we have the PSU, Plymouth State University Tiger players doing
love
a
that.
I love them.
performance. They're
Because they
still
always
around.
bring a free
That's
tiger,
awesome.
They've
too.
been around forever, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. So they're coming Wednesday for the whole school, so that's super exciting, on kindness, bullying, those type of things for the kids. And Friday morning is our Veterans Assembly. It was amazing last year. And Scholastic Book Fair is that same week, too. So no shortage of things to do at Valley View. And so a couple positive things, our referrals are down as we try to, hone in on responsive classroom strategies. Our referrals are down from last year, which I sent you last year's to refer to. And still we struggle with some student behaviors which have continued to be problematic, and things that we have to address. There are elementary students who struggle with anger management sometimes, which can translate into physical violent incidences sometimes. And so it's always shielding the rest of the kids, right? So they can focus on their education. But, these are things, long-term, we're gonna have to bring in training to address that type of profile, if you will, right? Maybe a sign of the times, reflection of society, and post-COVID, and things that kids really haven't been able to process and deal with those emotions, maybe. So, things to think about long-term. And I think, other than our music teacher is starting any day now, and we have already thrown him into that we want our winter and spring concerts too. So he is game and he's open to that, and yeah, I think that's all we have for right now. Oh, and a Tiger Assembly next week.
I just have to say, honestly, kudos to you guys. I know, elementary school looks very different than middle school and high school, but, the amount that goes into all of these events and the time that it takes, to plan them, and before and after, and, staying late at night for all of these events. So you and, all of your staff and the teachers, so I want to just say that it's greatly appreciated, and I know that the community and the parents and the kids are really enjoying it too, so just want to make sure that.
Appreciate
gets out
that.
there.
We have the best kids, I'm biased, but they're so sweet, and all of our parents are so supportive, and they show up for their kids. I mean, last year there wasn't standing room at those concerts, and they show up, they want to be involved. So, I forgot to mention Tiger Award Assembly, which the kids get nominated for the Pause Matrix, right? But also this year, we are trying something new to recognize students who have 98% and above attendance for the month. They get something special, just them, plus a certificate. We'll see if it will help boost, because we also still continue to see poor attendance for too many, to be honest, for too many for a small school. I haven't seen things like that. That does seem somewhat unique to Farmington in many aspects. So, always things that we can get better at doing, and I'm open to whatever might help, So, we shall try that.
Any questions? All set? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unfinished business audit.
Okay, both these topics, kind of one leads into the other one.
Okay.
So with the audit, we're finally rolling again, so it's some good news. We're almost at the finish line. The previous update was kind of like we were waiting for some adjustments, some things to happen. We were waiting for Greg's work to be reviewed. The auditor did receive it, reviewed Greg's work, and they found it to be satisfactory for what they needed done. And the adjustments I made in the system that corresponded to what Greg had asked me to do, all got a check mark, so that was favorable. He sent over some other adjustments to help me correct some fund balance numbers, some beginning balance numbers, different portions of the balance sheet really. And now, I just talked with him again this evening, right before our meeting. And the final piece is clearing up our due to, due froms. It's two account lines that exist pretty much in every fund that we have. So we have our Fund 10, which is our general fund, our Fund 21, food service, and then our Fund 22, which is our grants fund. And so there's just some discrepancies within those funds, which are used, the due to, due froms are used to transfer monies between the general fund, the food service fund, the grant fund, and account for what the funds owe each other, essentially. So it's a balancing act to show how much money we really have in the general fund. So some things that did check out were our cash accounts, so we're good there. We were able to apply adjustments to the grant fund to get that to tie out. We were able to apply adjustments to the food service fund, which now ties out. And now it's just clearing up those lines to make sure that they make sense. So in order to do that, the auditor I'm working with, the supervisor there, is working with one of the partners tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, to carve out some time to dig into that line. And I don't know if it's something that Greg will have to jump back in on or not, but the theory is if we can work out what's in that line, then we'll have the audit report shortly thereafter.
Is the state banging on the door at all?
They haven't yet, no. I was on a call with the state today, so they are looking to have that DOE 25 finalized by the end of the month, which is completely doable. I was holding off because of this discrepancies I was having with the beginning balance. I called my mentor and he said, well, something's up with these balances. So that's when I went back to the auditor to get an update from them, and then he gave me adjustments for the beginning balances. So now I should be able to complete the DOE 25, and we're waiting on that line to be cleared, so we can close out of the audit. We have to have a report to them, I think, by the end of the year. So that would be the ultimate deadline, but I don't, again, I'm looking to have this done by the end of the month. This is more my speed. The tasks that we wanted to have done before we update the budget committee again were completed incorrectly, and I'm asking, I went through today with Alex on the phone, and I asked them to make sure, the adjustments that you had me apply were correct and done correctly. So he said that the adjustments were done correctly right now, and that it's really just this last due to, due from situation that needs to be worked out, so. But both the state, the auditor, and Greg have all been fantastic to work with, so they understand.
Any questions? Okay. I put these two things on the new business. I just, I wanted to, and we don't have to get updates tonight, but I'm just wondering how committees are doing. Are we gonna move forward with learning enhancement? I know that last spring, some folks were asking about it.
I don't think I'm on.
Oh, who's on that now? I thought it was you and,
It might be in my other binder.
it sounded like folks wanted to have those meetings, continue to have those meetings, so I'm just,
I thought learning enhancement, we had talked about it, but there was a lot going on that was with,
who typically spearheaded that? Was it
Ruth Ellen and
what?
Oh.
Jess and Sharon?
Yeah, Justin Sharon.
Was it Kathleen? Who headed those meetings though? When because I wasn't really on
it was
that.
really,
It
when I
was-
was there, it was pretty, Kathleen sent out the agenda,
Yeah,
but it was Kathleen and Ruth Ellen.
yeah,
Who-
and then the building principals
The
were
building
there, and
principals,
then,
but,
and
yeah.
they brought their own, data for what we were talking about for that week or month, because it was a monthly meeting.
Okay.
But
maybe I'll send out a feeler email,
Yeah,
because we get some new faces, so.
So, just personally, I feel like the meetings that I attended, and it was only for a short time, it was just March until June. March to June, and then everything was kind of put on a hiatus last year with everything
For the
going
summer.
on. But a lot of the topics that were discussed, I feel like are what's being discussed during, I think, Jim, what are you guys holding, like where all the principals get together and you guys, like the admin team meetings, where we're talking about like curriculum stuff and scheduling and like behavior management stuff, you know, new websites. It was really more around
Internal
that,
operations.
internal operations,
The
yeah,
SAU
data.
The SAU
Yeah.
internal office meets weekly on Monday.
Yeah,
So I
I'm
don't
not,
know.
you know, it's something that, started off because of COVID, and it was called learning loss, and then it morphed into learning enhancement. And I thought last year at office hours, there was a theme of we'd like to continue to have those.
yeah, I
So-
agree. And I mean, I think once, you know, we made that turn from learning loss to learning enhancement, I think that first, like, year that it was learning enhancement, they were, you know, especially Giselle, she really dug into the data and really was able to move that needle, in a lot of areas, so.
I just don't know personally if we need to add one more meeting to the staff's agenda, if there's already something similar that's being conducted that
Right, I mean, I don't
Just
know if
be
we wanna
invited
do
or-
it,
too.
cause when do they do their data meetings, do you know, or,
Henry Wilson does it weekly.
okay,
The high school is doing it through their PLCs.
okay. Like, I didn't know if there was a way to like kind of piggyback on maybe an admin meeting once a month.
Right.
Not all the, I don't know, you do them what, every
Or
other
even
week, or?
bi-monthly.
Admin team is twice a month.
Okay, yeah, so I don't know if there's.
Well, let me put out a feeler, because it is a standing committee.
Yeah.
So it is supposed to meet, so if we're not going to, that's
Right.
fine. If the feeling is we're covering this internally, which quite frankly, that's what should be happening.
Right,
It's just not
yeah,
never was a school board function.
right,
I think when it became a school board function though, it did some great things.
absolutely.
So, we'll get a feeler out there. If it's not necessarily, the staff doesn't feel that it's needed, then, and they're, I mean, look, they're talking about learning enhancement. We just heard it here, we hear it every time we get a report.
Yep.
It's not like it's not happening, so. Okay, and then, fall office hours. Do we wanna have office hours with each school?
I think so.
May I,
Now,
may I ask
yes.
a question?
Yes.
The principals are wondering if you would like to do that in addition to admin office hours to talk budget? I don't know if that was a past practice, it sounds like it was.
We had a, yeah, we did.
Oh, that,
If you wanna
Well-
think about it, and let me
Well,
know.
what we could do is a workshop. We
Right,
should
which
be.
we've done in the past.
And we probably should be scheduling that soon, because I'm assuming preliminary budgeting is
Yes.
somewhat,
That's a topic
complete.
at admin
Yeah,
team.
we're pretty close to sharing one with you. We had wanted to bring one tonight, but
We had it in October.
I mean, I'll put out, this is not the board, this is one individual on the board. My thoughts on budget this year is I'm gonna put it under some really strict scrutiny.
Understood,
You know, many people in town are facing this water sewer thing,
yes.
okay? And I really think we need to take that into consideration. I've talked to many, many seniors that are very worried about how they're gonna pay their water bill and pay their other bills.
Yeah.
And I think we need to really take that into consideration when we approach budgeting. I mean, you know, Sharon and I are in the midst of a negotiation, and it's something that's in the forefront of our mind as we move forward with what you have to ask yourself, what can your community afford?
Right.
And this year, there's something else that's really taken out of their pockets, so, or a lot of them anyway. So, having said that, that's just sort of my, moving forward on budget this year.
Thank you.
And I'm typically not one to cut corners, but
No,
This
and I
may be-
think, you know, the voters have been very supportive over the years, many, many years, with anything we've put on the ballot. So I think, you know, it's, I mean, we're always cognizant, obviously, of, you know, what we're putting out there, but I think, you know, we need to be mindful.
we wanna look at a calendar for potential office hours. I, I don't wanna speak for Jess as she's not here, but knowing her work schedule, I think it might be difficult for her to get here fairly early.
I only have Mondays and Tuesdays.
Okay, well, we've done it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before, we've done it Tuesday,
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, sometimes we've doubled up.
Mhm. So we have meetings,
I'd like to do it on a non-board week.
right, that's 4th and the 18th, right?
Yeah, I'm-
In November.
I'm gone on the 4th, Joe, remember?
What's that?
I'm not here the 4th. I'm in Florida that week.
That's right, yeah.
The
11th is a
Veterans Day.
holiday.
Veterans Day.
What about 12, 13, 14, and then, and in there? I mean, we don't, like you said, we don't have to, we can double up, we can do one a day.
I can get here probably on any of those days, I can probably get here by 3:15 at the very latest.
Okay.
Well, Valley View gets out first, right?
Yes.
So Stacy, what if you and I do a Valley View day, like early? Or you and I,
Well, I'm just
Or
saying, let's,
Tuesday.
whatever school we do on Tuesday, you can do a
I
Tuesday,
can do Tuesday.
okay?
yeah, I can't do Tuesday.
Right.
Why don't, we wanna do a Tuesday with me?
So Tuesday the 12th?
But,
Or-
and, yeah, and what's, oh, now, when are their staff meetings, Jim? Are those,
I'll get that for you just a second.
cause I don't wanna,
Yeah, double up.
I thought it was the first week of each month.
I think we're quiet tonight.
I know, right?
We keep hearing the buzzer.
I know, we
Listen
can hear
here,
the
volleyball
volleyball game
game.
happening.
No,
No. We're
I like
listening.
it.
It's kinda fun. Hearing Mr. Mosier's voice on the microphone.
I know.
I'll be taking that back in a month.
I know.
Henry Wilson's faculty meeting is Wednesday, the 6th.
Okay. I think they all run that
I
first
do
week.
too.
They try to, yeah.
Yeah.
The first week is a little screwy because of the election day.
Oh, that's right.
Well,
So the
Do you have
following
a-
week.
Do you guys have a preference on what school? I don't.
I don't, it doesn't matter.
You wanna
me.
do Farmington High School on that day, Sharon?
Yep.
So we'll do November 12th, we'll do FHS. We're gonna call it 3 o'clock.
Stacy, do you wanna do the 13th with me, Wednesday?
Yep. At Valley View? Or?
It doesn't matter to me, we can do, I just was thinking Valley View, because they get out earlier, so
Yep.
then teachers don't have to hang around like as long waiting. That, I mean, not that 3
Yeah.
o'clock's, I mean, I'm sure they, but,
So we can start, well, is 2:45 too early, you think?
no, I think that's what we did the last
Okay.
time. At 2:45.
2:45 on Wednesday the 13th, Valley View.
Just for your reference in regards to your question, Valley View and the high school, their faculty meetings are the first Tuesday of the month.
Okay,
Henry Wilson's is the first Wednesday of the month.
okay.
Okay.
And then,
Now, are they adjusting that, though, because of parent conference day on the 5th?
Yeah, I'm working on a document
Yeah, and that's
created last
election day
month. I
too
would
for
assume
the high
they
school-
are.
the high school.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, November 14th, I could do Henry Wilson. I don't know if Jess would be able to join me. I doubt it with her
Yeah.
schedule. Can you join me?
I can do
I
it, yeah.
can.
Okay. Oh,
Whatever.
do you,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I can either or.
I don't mind. I mean,
Go ahead, Stace, I'll let you do it.
all right. I won't fight you over it. 3 o'clock, is that what you said, or 3?
But honestly, no, if something
we
comes
can
up,
do 3.
then I can, 3 PM?
Yep.
Okay, if we can't, then just let me know, and I can.
Okay.
And I'll see you between now and then.
All right, so the 12th,
Okay.
13th, 14th, high school on Tuesday at 3 with Joel and Sharon. Wednesday, the 13th, Valley View at 2:45 with Nicole and myself. And Thursday, the 14th, Henry Wilson at 3 with Joel and myself.
Yeah. And I will send that out to the respective principals. Oh, actually, I sent it out to the whole staff.
Yeah.
Cool. Glad we got that done.
Just while we're on, sorry, I should have done this during committee updates.
Yep.
If I may.
Yeah,
Okay. Policy, I know that I was not here on the 7th, but I did have it like outlined in the shared policy agenda. So should we do that? Can we do that next meeting?
mm-hmm,
It should be pretty quick.
Which one is-
I sent an email to you guys, so it's policy BCA, school board member ethics. BEDA, which is public notification of school board meetings. BGA, policy development system. DI, which is physical accounting and reporting. So most of them just require like a yearly review. And then I had sent it in an email, and if you guys go into the agenda, you'll see some notes in there that SAU staff and board members can look at. Just asking for other suggestions, and then like public notification of school board meeting, we'll just discuss, like it requires it. We feel, Sharon and I in the committee felt like it maybe requires just a little amendment, because it says like, school board meetings will be posted, it talks about radio and newspaper and just some old school things, so it
Right.
hasn't been updated in quite some time, that's all, so.
okay. Yep, those will be on the next one. Very good. Anything else? Any public participation at this time? Hearing none, we have some manifests to sign. Our next meeting will be November 4th, 2024, Election Eve.
Yes. Get your popcorn ready.
Thank you to those of you who viewed in tonight from home and those of you who showed up. We have finished our non-publics for the night, so we are actually adjourning. So I will accept a motion to adjourn at this time.
So moved.
So moved by Sharon, second by Stacy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.